Hello and welcome to the basics. Happy Math Monday. If it's first time, you can just keep it going. I'm gonna try to cut it. Hello and welcome to the basics. Happy Math Monday. My name is Donnell and I'm a math coach / tutor with a background in civil engineering. If you want to know where I got all my math skills from. Last week I presented a word problem that I wanted you guys to analyze, and I'll do the recap of the problem and I'll actually put the answers on the board today. The word problem was a stock opened at a price of $2.30 per share. Throughout the day, it increased 15% for the day's high before closing down 12% from the opening stock price. What is the closing price? Now, if you didn't catch that last week, the main thing I was getting at is only answering the questions that are asked on a word problem. Here we said that the price increased 15%, but for what they asked you, you did not need that at all. So that should be ignored when you're doing a word problem. But there might be another question that actually includes that, but if they're not asking for it, then you don't have to pay attention to that data. Now, as far as calculating the answer, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You could calculate 12% of the $2.30, or you could minus 12% from 100%, which gives you 88%, and multiply that to get your closing price. That's how you get it in one step. So we can put that on the board. The opening stock price was $2.30. Okay. Now, we said that don't pay attention to the increase of 15%. Said it closed 12% from the opening price. So 12% is, you have to get the number form of 12%. Remember, this is equal to 0.12. That's the number that you want to use. As long as you multiply that. Now remember, it decreased 12%, so don't forget, decrease means you have to minus. So you calculate what your 12% is, and then you take it off the total. Take it off the opening price. So let's do a little math by hand. You should practice this. I mean, I know you can use a calculator, but let's practice it and do it by hand. Okay. 0.12. Do not forget your decimal places. They come into play later. So let's go. 2 times 0 is 2. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 2 is 4. You don't have to, you can ignore the decimals until the end, and then you have to count them over. All right, you'll see in a second. Okay, so when I see 1 here, all you have to do is make sure you stay in the same column and line this up. 1 times 0 is 1. 1 times 3 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. Don't forget. Drop the 0 here. 6. 4 plus 3. Don't forget this is addition here. 7 and 2. Now don't forget, you have 4 places. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You take your decimal from here and you go 4 places. Okay, so it's actually 27.6 cents. Now, what do we do since it's 27.6? We round that off to 28 cents. So we write it like that. And remember what we said. We have to take 28 cents from $2.30 to get the closing stock price. I hope that's some good review for everyone. And again, like I say, parents discuss this with your kids, kids discuss with your parents. And yeah, you can easily punch this into a calculator, but it's good to actually see the math so you don't forget the process. I'm gonna keep the original $2.30 there. Don't forget that 12% is 28 cents. We had rounded it off. And we just take away 28 cents. Okay? So don't forget the borrowing. There's 0. You have to borrow. 3 becomes 2. 10 take away 8 is 2. 2 take away 2 is 0. Line these up. Closing stock price, $2.02. All right. Now, I said there was another way to do this without having to minus the 28 cents. I'll erase the whole thing, is taking 12% away from 100% and then multiplying that to the opening stock price. So remember, 100% of $2.30 is what? $2.30. 100% is all of what we started with. But if it's missing, you can get rid of that dollar sign. I do not want to confuse anyone with the dollar sign. Just want to show you this is the beauty of percentages. 100%. Remember, it went down 12%. Minus 12%. I mean, hopefully you could do 100 minus 12. It's 88%. I'm not gonna do the long math. I can line it up, and if you did, you can borrow and figure it out. But that's 88%. 88%. Don't forget, change the percentage. You have to move the decimal place. Okay. So 88%. You're actually when I move the decimal place to the left, I'm making the number smaller. So I'm dividing it by 100. So when I'm moving the decimal place, 0.88, it's really I'll write it in a fractional form, so maybe you'll understand it that way too. It's 88 hundredths. That's the same thing. It's 88%. So that equals, remember, the decimal place is 0.88 is the number now. And again, if you say it, that's 88 hundredths, right? 88 hundredths, 0.88. Now, if you multiply that times $2.30, we should get the same answer, $2.02. Let's see. Let's see if it comes out the same way. Now, the beauty of doing it this way is you don't have to minus at the end, so you have less of a chance of making a mistake if you do it this way. $2.30. Remember, that's 100% of what we started with. If we minus 12, we got 88%, which is 0.88. Oh, this is one of the beauty things about multiplying two of the same numbers. We only have to do it once because we're doing 8 times this, and then you just move it over and you just copy the same number. That's a little shortcut you might want to use. So 8 times 0 is 0. 8 times 3 is 24. Put the 4 here. Carry the 2. Right? 8 times 2 is 16, 17, 18. Just be careful with it. If you take a shortcut, remember what I said. We do this math and we just shift the number and we write it right under here. Okay, we got the 8. We're adding. Okay, so we got Adding this together, 8 plus 4 is 12. 8 plus 1 is 9, plus the 1 that we carried is 10. Okay, so we carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, don't forget 4 decimal places. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look, since this is 4, we round down and keep this $2.02. One step. Same answer. So the closing stock price is $2.02. Remember, if you have a 4 here, you'll keep this number the same. If this was 5 or above, you'd round it up to $2.03. So don't forget that. That's how you round numbers. Now, I want to present a problem for the next week. The problem is simply the stock price high was up 15%. Since you know how to calculate percentages, don't forget you can add 15%, or you can multiply $2.30 times 1.15, because that's 115%, right? So you could do that, or you could multiply the 15. Don't forget you're adding. So if the stock price fell 12% from the day's high, what would be the closing price then? That's the problem for this week. Discuss that one, and we will see you next week. Do not forget to like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell. All right, and leave me some comments. Leave me some comments of things that you would like for me to discuss and go over. Okay, I'll see you next week.